my name's David Carter, and out here at Chadbourn I usually portray a full bird colonel, which would have the eagles on the shoulder, and I would be an officer in the United States Cavalry. The equipment that I'm wearing and carrying would all be Civil War period. Some of it would transcend a little bit into the Indian War, because when the Indian War happened, they had so much extra stuff from the Civil War that they wound up sending it out to the West. So I can do Indian War as well. The weapons that I carry is, of course, the 44, which this Remington 44 was, this one actually will be an officer's weapon. You can tell because of the bracket over the top. It was built a little more sturdier than the ones that the enlisted got. Eventually they all would get these, but at first when they came out, they pretty much just went to officers. The Confederates, though, not very many options for weapons. So usually if they found one of these on a battlefield, they'd take it immediately. Now the other thing that I carry is the saber. And the saber, there's kind of a misconception with the saber. I mean, if you see in all the old John Wayne movies, they'll always be yelling charge, and they'll have the saber up over the head and going for their targets. A lot of times they wouldn't even carry their sabers because they made so much noise and they rattled, and they're really not practical charging, you know, men with guns and rifles. This was really a kind of an outdated weapon. You know, this one too is one of the best ones I've ever had. It's got the full engraving like they had. It's not like what you see in again in the movies where they're fencing and stabbing. This is primarily, if it is used, was on a horse. And when you're running 30 miles an hour on a horse with this, it doesn't matter what you hit or how sharp it is, it's going to go through. It wasn't used so much for combat as for an officer. It was used for giving commands. So you would see this at that distance. So this was primarily for giving direction, and primarily the officer. Like I said, though, the enlisted would have them, but most of the time wouldn't be carrying them.